This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good night, Brenda Walton. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I'm doing really well. It's a little chillier here where I'm at, probably than where you are, but I'm doing perfectly fine.
Where in the world are you right now?
I'm in Canada, and we're in sub-zero temperatures right now, so it's very cold outside.
It's just a little colder than what we have in the Caribbean.
Thanks for reminding me of that.
Wow. Well, do tell me, Brenda, which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this specific time in history?
I believe my talents are related to my transformational coaching and the program I developed called W.O.R.T.H.Y.
And that's an acronym, yeah?
It is. It's a 6-step process to help. I work predominantly with women, but it also works with men when I work with men, but it helps them become fearless, unstoppable, and wildly successful.
Ooh, I hear a song immediately. I am woman, hear me roar.
That should be my theme song.
Oh, there you go. It's yours. Well, do tell me. Tell me what the W.O.R.T.H.Y stands for, please.
So the 6 steps, the W stands for wake up. And that's really all about getting clear about what is and what isn't working in your life and what do you want to do about it. So do you want to stop stuff? Do you want to start stuff? Do you want to maybe take what's working and enhance it? What do you want to do about it? So that's the first step. The second step, the O, stands for own your power. And that's all about letting go of limiting beliefs and truly stepping into what makes you great, because we're all born worthy. We just have at some point forgotten that and gotten off track with it. So it's reconnecting with that and stepping back into that. R stands for relate with love, and there are 2 aspects to that. The first aspect is unconditional love of self. We often, especially those of us who struggle with self-worth issues, are unconditionally loving to everybody around us, but not so much to ourselves. So I believe you can't give from an empty cup. So the first step is to really reconnect with that unconditional love of self. And then the second part of that is unconditional love of others. So there might be some forgiveness that's needed, or reconnecting with people that you've distanced yourself from a place of strength now that you're more loving towards yourself. T is trust self and source, and that's all about intuition. We all have these intuitive guidance, and we often don't know that that's what that is, and B, we don't know what to do about it when we do have it. I had a woman once receive a heart in a meditation placed in her hand, and it scared her because she had no idea how to receive love. And to have this heart placed in her hand, she just was totally thrown by it and thrown off. H stands for honor your past, and we can't fully move forward and be our best selves if we have one foot stuck in the past. So there's things in our past that have happened to us that led us to where we are today. And if we can't embrace that and celebrate all of it, the good and the bad, because it all made us who we are today. So really honoring and celebrating all of that. And then the Y, of course, is yes to life. So once a person's worked through the other steps, they're at this 6th step that's really about embracing everything that you want for the future and stepping into it in a really big and full way. It's all about action plans and goals and affirmations and visualization and really taking action in a big, bold, fearless, unstoppable way.
How long did it take before W.O.R.T.H.Y found you?
It took me a few years. I certainly spent much of my probably 20s and 30s in a place of feeling unworthy. And even though I had great success in my life, there was a part of me that always thought if people just knew that I was totally flying by the seat of my pants, they'd think I was crazy, right? Like I never believed in any of my success or any of the accolades that I ever got. I thought it was just a fluke. And once I started to deal with my own stuff and started to embrace it, I'm like, why did I waste all that time in my 20s and 30s not ever believing in myself?
That's amazing. Now, where's the best place for someone that's listening to connect with you?
Best place is through my website, www.brendawaltoninspires.com.
I saw that are you standing? Yes, it looks like you're standing next to a guy in a profile picture here. Pretty intriguing guy. His name is Jack Canfield.
That's right.
Tell me about that book, please.
It was through my work with Jack Canfield that I uncovered this whole worthy step.
Wow.
I had been working for a company and had been, on paper, my job was deemed redundant and I was let go, but emotionally it felt like I had been fired and walked out the door. And so I started to look and figure out what was I going to do next. And I found on the internet that Jack Canfield was looking to take 100 people through his first ever Train the Trainer program. And he was going to teach people how to deliver his materials and how to coach people and be a transformational speaker. And I was instantly excited about it. And I downloaded the application and then I set it aside for 2 days because I let my self-doubt kick in. And I started to think things like, he's been on The Secret. He's been on Oprah. He's not looking for someone like me. He's looking for someone amazing. And then it kicked in and I went, it's like a lottery ticket. You can't win if you don't actually have a ticket. And it's the same with this thing that I was super excited about. I'm never going to be selected if I don't actually fill in the application and send it in. So I did that. And sort of anticipated that I would hear from them in a day or two that would give me some kind of indication about that they had received my application and I was, next in line to be considered or whatever. I had some sort of anticipation that I would hear from them. And when I never heard from them, I actually picked up the phone and called because I wanted to see where I was in the queue. And when I said, I'm Brenda Walton, and I'm just wondering if you have my application, they said, Brenda who? They hadn't even received my application. When I sent it by fax, it must have went somewhere else, and they didn't even get it. And so it's a pivotal moment for me to look at and go, if I had stayed in my lack of self-worth and not picked up that phone and made the phone call to them to say, where am I in the queue? I would have been rejected, but by my own doing, not by anything they did, because they didn't even know of me. They hadn't received my application. And so it's the first time where I really started to connect the dots around how important it is to actually really believe in your potential.
Yeah. The one thing that you didn't say that would have made what you just said pretty amazing and connect for me would have been, I am worthy.
I am worthy.
There we go. Love it. All right. Well, amazing audience. You're here good live from Brenda Walton. Again, you can check her out at BrendaWaltonInspires.com. BrendaWaltonInspires.com. Brenda, let's switch gears for a moment now. Let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Brenda, what is your earliest childhood memory?
I have a memory of when I was with my uncle. I was about 3 or 4, and he was doing chores outside at the farm, and he turned around and he saw me. I tell this story in one of the stories in one of the books that I wrote, but he turned around and he saw me standing in his pail of chop that he was using to feed the animals, and he pointed his finger at me and he said, "You get your muddy boots out of my pail." And he said, I looked him square in the eyes at 3 or 4 years old, and I put my hands on my hips and I said, "You're not the boss of me." So when I was a little girl, I was pretty fearless.
Yeah, it's like, you're not the boss of me. I'm worthy to put my foot in anything I want to put it in.
I'll just stand wherever I want.
How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
Well, it's part of my journey. So when I look back and I see who I was as a little girl, I can see moments where I was fearless and where I was unstoppable and where I truly knew without question that I was worthy. And then I can also see the journey that I took that took me off track, and the things that were said to me or the events that happened to me that led me to believe in less than myself. And then the journey that got me back on track through Jack Canfield and some of the work that I did with him.
It's amazing. Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind with that memory?
Sure.
Sure. Explain what were you in? You said you were in.
Think of it as a pail of grain that he was feeding to the animals.
Pail of grain. All right. So there we go. So for me, that memory is pretty intriguing because you're standing in what can be spoil, but or it can be seed for growth, right? And
correct.
I love the fact that who you are is parallel to that. I'm using the word parallel so much more often right now, but it's so much in alignment because the seed can help to feed others, or it can just be thrown away to rot. And you are standing in the midst of that, and now you're helping other individuals by giving them seed, that seed of inspiration that they too are worthy. And that could go the other way if you don't do what you are called to do, Brenda.
Thank you. That's a beautiful interpretation. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Well, when I was asked that, I don't remember specific songs, but I remember a song that I listened to a lot that sort of embodied who I believe I was at that time. And it's a song called I Was Country When Country Wasn't Cool. And as a young girl, I was very comfortable walking a different path. So all my friends liked rock and roll and music like that, but I loved country music. It was played in my home and it was played everywhere around me, and I loved it, and I wasn't afraid to tell people that I loved it.
Well, there we go. Love it. All right, my friend. Well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form, so it's yes or no. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Yes.
Brenda, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
I have, yes.
Are you married?
No.
Do you have children?
Stepchildren.
Do you believe in God?
I believe in the Creator.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I have a wonderful inner circle of friends.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No, on the weekends I might.
All right.
But mostly no.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Sadly, some days it's more than 8.
All right, Brenda, if you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, Brenda Walton, what would you say that is?
I think I'm an inspiration. I think that I'm someone who is honored to walk in the path of great people and share my wisdom with others so that those who are walking in my path can benefit from my experience.
Love it. Can I add something?
Yes.
I am worthy.
And I'm worthy.
Love it. Brenda, this is such a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
No, I appreciate chatting with you, and I wish that I was somewhere more tropical.
Brenda Walton, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This segment has been brought to you by Amazel Enterprise.